and welcome back to our 4th episode of BGTV, where we are on location on the Gold Coast with Heidi. Hi Heidi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for inviting us in. You're a beautiful home.
Thank you.
Your daughter's running about
Yes,
somewhere.
there's a little baby running around.
Yeah, you'll see her later. So thank you for inviting us and chatting with us today. Heidi has been a customer. Excuse me. Here she is.
Yeah.
Heidi has been a customer with us since she was 18. And how old are you now?
I'm now 29, so over 10 years, which is great.
And through all walks of life. So uni, salsa dancing, reporting, and motherhood.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
Bras with motherhood, oh my goodness.
Yeah, definitely. So we're just going to chat about, just going to chat about, how did you find out about us? So it was a little while ago, obviously.
Yeah, I was just trying to think before. I think I Googled because I was just having so much trouble finding anything to fit me, and then when you don't have the right fitting bra, your clothes don't fit properly. And I Googled, I was in Brisbane at the time, and yeah, I found Big Girls Don't Cry, and yeah, went along, and it was the most amazing day because I was fitted properly and I felt completely supported, and it was just amazing. I had no idea that this store existed or that the sizes existed.
Oh my God.
And from that day on, I've been looked after.
Just winning.
All good.
Brilliant. What size were you previously wearing? Do you remember?
Like, I don't know, a 10 double D. I think that was the biggest size at the time that I could find for me. And then I ended up being an 8J, so very different.
So you lift your arms and not fall out?
Yeah, so I was like, I could do everything, you know, you could finally not worry about what you're wearing, or, you know,
all that
everything was in.
Lovely, lovely. So tell us a little bit of the struggles of finding a bra. So through your walks of life, you've got not high school, uni. Obviously clothes are all different, you need certain things. And then, so you do competitions, leotards and all of that.
Yeah.
So walk us through the different bras and struggles that you did have in finding a bra. Because obviously 10 years ago, even our range was a little bit more limited than it is now. So, and obviously having a bigger bust with a smaller back
is really huge. Hard. Well, having such a small, I didn't realize my back was so small, but I knew I had a much bigger bust than was usual. So yeah, at high school, before I found Big Girls Don't Cry, it was really hard because you're wearing, you know, white blouses, so you have to wear a bra, and I was flat till I was 15. So I was in like little crop tops, and then next minute I was like, oh, I need a bra. And it was exciting because when you first get boobs, it's like, oh, you get to wear bras, all pretty and they're gorgeous because they're little. And then I got bigger, and then I was like, oh, there's no nice bras. Yeah. There was no bras that fitted me. So that was really upsetting, and then not being in properly and always falling out. I remember always doing these ones. I don't know if you... Yes, all the time. That was my move to keep myself in.
And it was a constant battle.
Yeah, and I'm very active. I've always loved sport and dancing, and it became really hard, especially running. Like, running is just no. Yeah. So there was no support if I wanted to be active, which really was terrible. And I love the beach, so my bikinis didn't fit, you know. So you're trying to, you know, wear these clothes and still enjoy life and trying to fit the girls in. So that was hard until I found Big Girls Don't Cry. And then from there, it just opened up this whole new world of bras and options that could fit you for different reasons. So I suddenly found sport bras that could fit me. Yeah. And obviously having normal bras that could fit me that were beautiful, because the other ones, like these 10 double D ones at the time, were just a grandma style, just a plain nude colour. Yeah. And yeah, suddenly I found all these gorgeous ones, and I was like, oh, you know, it's not so bad.
Confidence is back.
Exactly.
Is back. Yeah. And that's a huge thing, is that you need to start from the bottom, pretty much. And if you feel great in your underwear, everything else shines through. And being a teenager is really hard, because you're like, why is no one else having these struggles? Like, I'm constantly, and like if you're going to functions or anything like that, you're kind of like, you're wearing stuff bigger than you needed to be, and I have no doubt you've already trying to compensate for them. Yes. That you're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
I can't be the only one.
And the other thing that I didn't realise, because I was an 8, all the bras I'd been wearing was a 10, so they were quite loose, and I never realised how big a difference it made being in a bra that actually fitted against you correctly. Yeah. And suddenly I was like, oh, I'm not moving. My bra isn't moving when I move. Yes. And that was such a big thing. I was like, oh, I can actually, you know, walk or go for a run and suddenly feel in and not going to just pop out, or that the whole bra's moving on my body. So,
or just move in general.
Exactly. Yeah. They shouldn't be moving.
Brilliant. So you're salsa champion, and we just had a competition.
Yes, we just had a competition.
Yeah.
So
She comes third.
Yay!
So tell us about that. All your leotards and your dance costumes and all that are quite restrictive in what you can and can't wear. Obviously, you're this tiny little body, but you do have a bust on you. So how did you combat? What could you wear, and how did you go about that?
So what I had to do was, first of all, I found sport bras to fit me, so I was comfortable training, which was awesome. Then it came to the costumes, like what am I going to wear? But I was able to get my costumes made for me, and I would send them my own bra, and they would build the costume around my bra. Put all the material over the top, the sequins, the diamantes, everything, so that I knew that would be fitting me properly. And then they would make the band at the back the right size. And whenever I did the group competitions, you can see the other girls' bras have these tiny little straps. Mine had like really thick ones. I was like, I need more support. So it was so good being able to make it to fit me because I had the bras for that to happen. So being able to be on stage and dancing with a proper costume that fitted me perfectly. I was able to do everything and not fall out.
And your confidence would be through the roof as well.
Oh, being able to dance and not worry about having a mishap on stage. Amazing.
Yes,
that's what you need. You don't want to be like,
that would suck.
That would not be good.
Now, you've been married, you've done all of that. I did Instagram stalk you for a little while. But you had two white dresses on there, so I was like, I think your big one, your big one was your wedding dress.
Yes.
And then you wore a beautiful little white one just recently.
Yes.
Someone else's wedding.
That's right. I was a bridesmaid. So I had another little white dress, which is gorgeous.
So for your wedding, you obviously bras are difficult. What did you do? How did you go about it? Did you pick your dress first or your bras?
Well, I went and got bras first. I was like, before you can try any dresses, you kind of need to at least have a bra to go with. So we did get some bras, which was awesome. And then I ended up getting my wedding dress made to fit me.
Nice.
So we got the bra built into the dress again. So that was all to fit me. I found that I need to have, just because having such a small bag and full of bust, I need, if I can't find what I want, then it's about getting it to me, to fit me custom. Because it's such a hard size, but I'm sure there are so many women out there that are very similar and they don't realise it.
No. And that's it, and it's the hardest thing. And now, obviously, things have progressed through fashion and all of that sort of jazz. So you're able to. Sorry, I can't take my arms. Just mesmerise.
She's found the washing.
That fashion has come so much more, and Australia is finally getting the hang of things when it comes to clothing for women and all different women. Like, curvy is now something that is so much more common than just being either really, really tiny or fuller. But now, curvy is in, and most clothes are now made for it. So hopefully the option is a little bit better. You obviously just had your last costume custom made as well.
It was actually one of the first ones I got made. I just re-wore it. So which was great. So I just had to pull it in a little bit on the sides because it was a bit different to when I first got it. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, everybody is different, but your body changes over time, and you really need to be on top of keeping up to date with your fittings, because once you have been fitted properly, you know how you should feel. So when it starts to change, that's the time to go in and go, oh, can I just see, have I changed shape? Got to look after.
I know I saw you more when you were pregnant. Because you're like, no, Tasha, it's not working anymore.
Why is it not moving?
We don't need it this size anymore. I can go into a new bra. And obviously the struggles with that, like you're being so tiny, which is the hardest thing, is that when you grow, like in maternity fits, we have to make sure we have room to go into it. So we were like, you're like, no, I want wide tash. And I'm like, well, we'll see how we go. But we have to compensate because every pregnancy is different. So, and your hormones change and all of that sort of jazz, that you have to make sure that we don't cause damage. That's the hardest thing, is that you didn't grow too much in the, like you grew a little bit and then you just kind of plateaued out, which really, like, it was, you're like, I need new ones now.
Did I have
new ones? And I think, what size did you go to? 12 double H?
I think it was a 12 double H, because I thought I needed to be a 14, but I mean, that's where you come in and you get fitted properly, and then it's all, everything's fitting correctly. Thanks, honey.
Look at
washing. But that was like the biggest thing, being pregnant, and how much your body changes. And suddenly it's like you really need to be taking care up here because so much is going on, especially with a growing belly and the shift in your balance and your weight. The last thing you want is to be worrying about up here.
Yeah, and naturally when your bust gets bigger, we tend to hunch because we try to carry it. Obviously by taking you up those cups and securing everything, we rebalance and bring our shoulders back. And being a dancer, you always have good posture, but you probably felt that start to go when everything got bigger and moved and shifted.
And then once I was getting fitted again and in securely, it was like, okay, it's nice. Much better, you know.
Whole new woman when you walk out of the fitting room. Yeah.
And I guess the thing with maternity was suddenly going from underwire to non-underwire.
Yes.
That was I remember when you first was like, non-underwire, I'm like, what? Like, how does that work?
No, Tash, no.
But the bras were amazing and they were fantastic. And I was in my nursing bras without the underwire for so long because they were fitting perfectly.
Yeah. Super soft, you can sleep in them.
Oh, yeah, I was sleeping in them. Brilliant. Just so good. Oh, honestly, when you're in a right fitting bra, it's the best feeling, and you know when you're not in a right fitting bra. You go, oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah. And if you can't come into store and get fitted, do jump on our website. We do have live chat and we also have our virtuals. So book them through either email or give us a call, and we'll be sure to get you sorted. As you know, Heidi's just like go.
Oh, it's just the best feeling.
It is, and it's what we. There's all shapes and sizes are different, so what we want to do is no size is too hard.
No.
Like you're now, like you're an 8J and you were 18 and you're like, no, I'm just a 10 double D, it's okay. And you're like, what?
It's very different.
Yeah, and everything sits higher and you stand taller and your confidence is obviously showed through.
And suddenly your clothes fit better.
Yes.
It's like, that looks good now, rather than, you know, falling out or, having to wear bigger because it, then it doesn't fit you here. And that's the hardest thing about having a smaller back is when it is larger here, making sure the clothes fit you properly without taking away your shape.
Yeah.
So.
And all your shirts and tops and dresses are all made with darts here, rather than if you're wearing the wrong size, you're sitting below that dart line, which is where all that extra fabric is. So obviously with your wedding dress, she's structured your bra into where all of
everything was like fitted for me, and I was like,
this is
so
working.
Nice.
This is so.
Just take little baby.
We just had one question about how is the best way to buy online, Tash, which you just mentioned before, but if you just want to go through it again for Tammy.
You can give us a call or shoot us an email or jump onto our live chat. What we like to do is probably easier just to tell us your measurement. So you can measure under your bust with your best fitting bra and then across your bust at the nipple, so at the fullest part of your bust, and then make sure we get those two measurements. And then we can go from there, and then we can chat about what you're currently wearing and all of that sort of jazz. So we get you the right bra as quick as possible rather than back and forth. So any of those options, give us a bell. Our number is 0732651811. Or you can jump on and live chat. I believe Andrew's at work today. She will answer you. Or there's plenty of team. Just give us a yell.
Otherwise, we're just getting lots of love and lots of waves, so just so you know.
We love Heidi. Brilliant. So obviously, I did put you in the non-wide sports bra, because you're like, I still want to be exercising.
Yes, being active.
And that's it. And it's one of those things that I'm like, nope, you're not going into wide. Like I remember going, I want wide, Tash. I'm like, nope, you can't have it. You need not wide, but we'll make it too big. But obviously, it didn't hinder. You still look quite active.
It was amazing, and that was the thing. Like, you want to stay, healthy and active when you're pregnant. But this was my first pregnancy, so I didn't realize your tummy comes up here, and so you can't have underwire, and that's why you made sure I wasn't in underwire, and I'm so glad because that wouldn't have worked.
No.
That would have really been cutting in, and I felt comfortable. I could still exercise and do things, and felt supported. Especially walking. I did a lot of walking when I was pregnant, and just being in a sports bra that fitted correctly, I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
And with the non-wire, it doesn't feel as big.
No, it was nice, just all held in together.
Where it
and I was
needed
like, oh, that's good. It's just, especially when you're pregnant, You want to feel comfortable.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about your boobs. That's great.
Bouncing around.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it had the crossover feature.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And you utilise that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So with most sport bras have the crisscross back, so that was great, not having to worry about that. And
that's a Panache sports bra.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's brilliant. And you know, it's when you leave the store, like we get you for the 5 minutes that you're in with us, and we go, yep.
Usually longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah. But you're only in the bra for a couple of minutes at a time, and you don't really know until the end. So having that feedback that you still loved it and it still worked, and we did see you periodically throughout your pregnancy when things did change and all of that, and you're like, all right, now it's time to go into something else because I feel like we're going to need it, or something's cutting in where it shouldn't be, which is what you need to, when you are growing, obviously, your bust will change. So as soon as your bra starts to get uncomfortable, you must come and get refitted because things change. You may have, some women are lucky and they just cruise on through at the same size, but unfortunately most of us do have to really look after our breast tissue because as you age, things change, you lose elasticity, you get more pain where you shouldn't, and we don't want that for anyone. So having that feedback going, these are amazing, is brilliant, is absolutely brilliant. Lovely. So that's what we want to hear, and that gives all of our team and all of our customers just that extra bit of like, a real person, not just us jabbing away.
Well, it's so true, and like once you've been fitted in a proper bra, you know that feeling, and it's such a comfortable, supported feeling. So when things change, if your shape changes in any way, you'll feel it, and you'll suddenly feel, oh, that's not fitting quite right. And that's when it's time to go in and just go, okay, where am I at now? It's so important because I got to that point again through my breastfeeding journey. I was like, you know what? These bras they're not giving me the support anymore. I'm like, have I changed shape? Like, what's happened? I go back in and it's like, okay, you're now this size. It's like, okay, and you just know in yourself when it doesn't quite feel right. Yes. And that's the time to go in and then get that amazing feeling once you're in the right bra.
Yeah. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. It is something that's obviously. You're like, nope, I want that feeling back.
And it's so easy. You just go in and you get fitted and then it's
a nice looking muffin.
Yes.
She was baking too.
Keep this one occupied.
That's it. Now, obviously living on the Gold Coast, and we were chatting earlier that you used to visit, and this is where all your holidays were. So swimwear was obviously a huge part of from 18 to now. And probably still is and will be.
Yes. She loves swimming too.
Swimwear, obviously, you can't just walk into a regular store, unfortunately.
No.
So tell us about, obviously, I remember fitting you for swimwear.
Yes.
And I'm sure many of our other girls at work would have as well. But obviously, swimwear is different to your bras because you hide your bras.
Yes.
So the feel is always there, but it's the comfort. But when you're on the beach, you want something that's fun and sexy and bright and flirty.
And supportive.
And supportive,
especially when you are in the ocean and there's waves. Like the last thing you want is to be like, wow, losing. I have been there too.
Come up out of a wave and everyone's like,
oh, that has happened so many times. Like, let me just readjust.
That's it. And obviously, like I said, you've had got this little back. That we need to accommodate. So we have to make sure your wire comes the whole way back around.
Definitely.
So you've been buying swimwear from us since you were 18?
Yes, which has been amazing because before then I was always trying to find like the lace-up ones. Yes. Because I knew I could tie it as tight as I wanted at the back. Yeah. And it makes sense now because my back's so small compared to the bust. But if you're trying to get the ones that just have the generic clit, if that's not your back size, then it's not going to fit. But again, so when I started coming to Big Girls Don't Cry, I was suddenly getting the right back size and then having the right cup for my swimwear, and it's just amazing. It's like,
and they sat higher.
Yeah, they sat correctly, and I didn't have to worry about them. And that's been that's so amazing is finding swimwear that fits. And especially now again when I changed shape. It was so good. I'm like, I need bikinis again. And it's like, oh, I'm in again, which is
that's because we don't have winter very
well.
We've had a snap.
I literally went swimming the other weekend. So
that's it. So I know that you came in just recently. So Heidi drives an hour and a half to come and visit us to get fitted.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. No distance is too much.
No.
And, like you've advocated and you're an ambassador for just women having good fitting bras in general, like you will tell everyone.
Definitely.
And that's what we need to. We need to support each other in bras. My pun.
Yes.
and in just confidence and all of that sort of jazz. So that's what we want. So you drove an hour and a half to come visit us, and I know Ange fitted you.
Yes.
And your new size?
Is a 6H
Yeah.
or 6HH, depending.
Yes, depending on the brand, the style, and all of that. So we've gone from 18HJ
Yes.
right through your pregnancy, where you changed all over the place. Went from a 8 right through to the 12 in the back.
Yeah.
I think you went to a double H.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then right down to a 6H. Now, those H's don't correlate towards each other because we have changed back size. So, in saying that, if we put it back into easier terms, and all done. The 12 double H would be a 10J, which would then be an 8 double J, which is still 3 cups bigger. Double 2, they're bigger than your other original, so everything changes. So just because the cup seems to be like a D or a double D, or even with us an F up to like the K cups, make sure your backs are always the right size, because that's what's going to determine where everything sits.
Well, and I think that's the most important thing, and that was the first thing I learnt when I got fitted, was your underwire needs to be here, not cutting into your flesh, your breast tissue. And I didn't realise. I was like,
just
and
that normal feeling of pulling it out all the time.
Yeah, and it makes total sense, because I used to, used to really hurt, and it was horrible, and now it's like, it sits perfectly. It's not cutting into anything, and once you're in, it's like, they're good.
Yeah, and your profile is your silhouette and your profile. This is nice. You're always walking with your shoulders back now.
Well, you feel confident, and I think that's the biggest thing, is when you're comfortable and supported, you've got that confidence, and then everything just works and fits.
Yeah, brilliant. How are we going?
Good. Just
questions?
no questions, but if you did have a question, anybody, you're more than welcome to ask.
Me, Bella.
Sorry, Bella.
Hi. Get to know and say hi.
Say hi, Bubby.
Hi. No, not yet.
Yeah, and the container.
Very good.
All right, guys. Lovely. So, thank you so much for having us. Thanks for letting us trash everything.
That's okay. No, Bella's done a great job.
Yes, she has. Yes, we've seen all her toys and her Dr. Seuss book.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's like, look what I found.
I know.
Yeah, so we really, there it goes. Really appreciate you letting us in your home. It's something it is a beautiful home, and we've come in and set up. So I appreciate it.
Oh,
too easy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.